I was having family problems at home because work was taking up my whole entire life. I was working every single day, chasing my tail. Obviously didn't have the right structure, and it was having a huge impact on how I was at home with my family and my wife. I was hoping for a bit of direction with it all. I sort of knew a little bit what I needed to do, but I just needed to know where to start.
Team, so let's introduce. So tell us who you are, what type of work you do, and the team setup as well.
I'm Bo, and this is Beth. We're from Master Trade Services. We're a mechanical services and plumbing company based in Melbourne. We have a team of 8, and we specialise in commercial fit-out sort of work, and also residential air conditioning and plumbing work.
So my role in the business is I do all operations. So I do payroll, HR, come up with the processes and implement the structure. So I think that when we sort of look at, we complement each other, and to probably just put it out there to everyone, we're not together. I'm Bo's sister-in-law, and I've worked with him for 2 years now.
I'm the managing director, estimating and project management, and then Beth basically does everything else.
So what was life like before you joined the $1 Million Tradie, and what were you looking to improve with the business?
Yeah, so before I started at PT, things were really chaotic. I was in a really bad headspace. I didn't want to run the business anymore. Beth had actually just jumped on board with me a few months prior, and I'd noticed PT, one of the sponsors on Facebook, and mentioned it to her a few times, but I was really bad. I was having family problems at home because work was taking up my whole entire life. I was working every single day, chasing my tail. Obviously didn't have the right structure, and it was having a huge impact on how I was at home with my family and my wife, and Beth sort of pushed me in the right direction to say, you need to go and speak to these people and give them a buzz and see what they can do to sort of help. And yeah, basically I was hoping for a bit of direction with it all. I was hoping, I sort of knew a little bit what I needed to do, but I just needed to know where to start. Oh. And that was a huge benefit for us.
Yeah,
so.
It was a tough time, yeah?
Oh, shocking.
Yeah, I can feel it, yeah.
Yeah, it was really bad. So.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the changes you've made. So what are the biggest changes that you've made? I
mentioned before that Beth started before PT, but the biggest change I think with me running the business was having Beth come on board. Oh, yeah. She is like my right-hand lady when it comes to business. I do it all with her by my side the whole way, and yeah, I definitely wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without her. And the other thing that, the major thing is getting our cash flow sorted was the biggest change that we made, and cash flow, comprises of having, being able to interpret our P&L right, back costing, all those things that we've learnt through PT has equaled the cash flow, which has made a huge change in us, and we can now make decisions way more confidently.
Bo's a very reactive person at the best of times, so if Bo wants something, he'll go do it, and sometimes that would land us in a little bit of trouble. So Bo the other day did go purchase 2 new work cars without actually okaying it with me, and he was very, very scared to tell me, but that's okay.
He's been bad.
That wasn't on the script.
That's okay, but I think that, in life, if you've got money in the bank, I think you can sleep at night, and I think that really controls Bo's mindset. So often I think that I'll pull him up because he sometimes will be sitting in the corner rocking back and forth, and it's okay, let's get it together, come up with a plan, what are we going to change or what can we do differently? So I think that we've really learnt to communicate and actually, problem solve. There's always going to be shit that happens, but what can we do differently, or what can we learn from the situation that we've been put into? So I think that, we really challenge each other, and, at the end of the day, Bo was taught to be a plumber. He wasn't taught to be a business owner. So that's why we have to obviously lean on each other, but also, branch out and search for the answers or get the education we need to obviously better ourselves, not just for ourselves, but for our team. And that's how we essentially grow.
Like you talked about cash flow, are there any other key changes that you've worked on?
Me being in the office,
Yeah.
pretty much full time. 95% of the time I'm in the office. If I'm not in the office, I'm going out to the jobs and making sure everything's all right, or having meetings with existing or new clients. That's been a huge change as well, because I'm steering the business in the direction where we want to go, and I'm spending a lot more time on business development, and also, like Tom said earlier, quoting and keeping the workflow consistent. Before I was on the tools for a bit, off the tools for a bit, on the tools for a bit, and our P&L was like this. And then we was like, why is it doing that? It was probably because I wasn't quoting and getting that workflow through, and also not getting paid on time. So us both being in the office and spending more time on all the little things has definitely given us heaps more consistency.
Massive. Okay, let's talk about the results. So what are the results of the changes you've made? What have they been for you and for business and for family and life in general?
We had our biggest quarter last quarter, which was awesome. I think our net profit was like 33% or something like that, which was normally we were around the 15 mark or below, which was awesome. So, and we've had cash in the bank as well. So before that, it was like cash would come in and it would go straight out. Now we've actually got a bit of a float there that we can roll over month to month.
Go buy new cars.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm trying to look like I've got it together here. Also I'm a lot happier as well. I'm way happier. I think when you're happy and you're enjoying it, then it makes things so much easier. You like to do the things that you don't really normally like to do a lot more. Yeah. I think all those things that you would sort of push to the side, that they need to be done, but when you're in a happier mindset, you're more inclined to do them and do them properly. I'm also a lot better person at home with my family, and better husband and father to my children. When they talk to me, I actually respond to them now without thinking about work or typing an email to somebody that I should have done when I was at work. And the other thing is as well, I would like to mention as well, we completely separated home and business. So, and that was from stopped working at home. We do everything, we have an office, so we do everything at the office. And so I feel like that was a huge, huge step in the right direction. So as soon as we leave the office, we switch off from work, we don't take it home. And that was massive. But yeah, I reignited the excitement flame about business. Like when you first start your business, you're really excited and you want to achieve all these things. And then as soon as you have a few hurdles or you go through a time like what I did, I sort of lost that. And so since achieving what we have achieved over the course of being with PT, I'm feeling a lot better about everything, and I'm actually excited about the future, which is awesome.
It's killer. So good.
And I think one of the other really exciting things that we both got to do for myself and the team, so in December, on the 5th of December last year, he took us being myself and the team on a surprise trip to Bali. So I think it was such a credit to our team that they hustled, that we sort of met the deadline on the projects that we were working on, to actually drive them to the airport, telling them that we're going to Gisborne Coles. I don't even know where you came up with that.
No,
but they thought that they were going to do a job over the weekend at Gisborne Coles. I don't actually even know where Gisborne is, in Melbourne somewhere, Victoria. And we actually both drove them into the airport, and they met me, and I had organised their bags, their passports and everything else, and we were actually able to go away for 7 days in Bali, and we came back for a couple of days and then went into Christmas holidays. So I think that Bo always wanted to do something like that, and to see our hustle as, a team, and then the extended team to be able to do that, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Might come work for you. Okay, mindset. So what are the mindset shifts that you've made?
Yeah, so this is a huge one for me. So I can't do it all by myself. That's one of the biggest things. And I'm nothing without my team. And like, even though I did always know that, I probably never showed it. And yeah, I feel like, you know, you're only as good as the person you're standing next to you, and they're going into battle for you as well. And like, that was like just touching on what Beth said about the whole Bali thing, is that like, I do expect a lot from our team, and like, I probably fell into the trap of thinking that everyone else is going to put in the same amount as what I will, and you quickly learn that you can't expect them to do that. You can only give them the right skill set in order to try and get as close to. So that's one of them, and I was super happy that I was able to give back to them as well, and acknowledge their hard work. Once you get stuck in a bit of a really busy cycle, sometimes you can easily forget to make sure that everyone feels appreciated and a part of it. So that was huge for me. Family time is far more important than business. When I first started the business, I'm always been like a quite hard worker, and I just fell into the trap as well of putting work first and family second. And as soon as I flipped that around, then more and more doors have opened, and it's been everything has been so much better. Me mentally as well, don't feel guilty about not being there for my family, which has played a huge part on my mental health. Nothing's achieved overnight. To achieve these big things, those big things take a lot of time, and like, I always wanted things to happen overnight, and if they couldn't happen overnight, I was like super frustrated. But I've understood that like, it's a